Hello, and welcome to the panel, Banking the Underbanked, Bridging the Digital Divide, part of the FT Global Summit Disrupt Tech Stream. Okay, Mohammed, I was just going to bring you in. I would assume that in Bahrain, the digital literacy is pretty high. Can you talk a little bit about the situation in the country? And then also maybe talk a little bit about some of the either products or services that fintechs have launched in order to help address financial inclusion and the digital divide.
Sure. So just to give you a bit of perspective here on sort of the digital, let's call it, proliferation in the country, almost statistically, it's around 99% of people own a smartphone here in the country, and around, on average, 1.2. So even people have two kind of devices. It's going to be a mobile or a tablet. And what has happened really recently, in COVID, a seamless transition of a lot of services, whether it be government services, public services, private services, towards digital means. And I think just to add to what, sort of Diana and Andy kind of mentioned around marginalization or has it spread the digital divide, I think what over here the private sector has done so effectively and the government sector, they've partnered really well together to make sure that people were brought in within this digital transformation, not from the start of COVID, but a few years back. And I think the biggest player was in this game was the telecoms in the country. So a few years back, whether it be the pricing of the subscription plans, pricing of hardware, all of this was subsidized. So, I mean, you can get a plan right now with a phone on a monthly basis for around maybe $8 a month or even like $5 a month. So that has really opened up the door for a lot of people to kind of acquire tablets, smartphones, and even data plans to allow them to kind of, let's say, participate in this digital participation. And I think what COVID did was only, let's say, reassert that this change towards digital was important. So I think the country has been able to weather, let's say, the storm a little bit when it came to the continuation of life. And what I've seen, at least from the financial sector, especially for us as a challenger bank here in the country, is that we've actually, bolstered our growth by triple during the pandemic. And the type of customers that have onboarded on our platform are customers that personally I did not think have, let's say, the financial literacy or the digital skills to onboard. But I think, sort of something good that came out of the pandemic is that people started to realize sort of the importance and the ease. I definitely agree with you, Diana. I think the social responsibility part is definitely within the DNA, I think, of every bank these days. And it's not just about showing it on the books or showing it in the profits. I think it's a matter of like really embracing what's going on and really helping out in this whole change that's happening and ongoing. And I don't think this is going to stop anytime soon. I think the digital transformation is going to continue to grow and to continue becoming sort of within our everyday need. I mean, I just think of the way I'm consuming things right now. I barely do, any cash, sort of payment. I barely do any visits to certain, let's say, branches or certain locations to conduct some of my daily needs. So, and that goes not just to me, but different segments within the community I live in. And I think sort of a big aspect of what we can do as banks is really education. And I think we have seen the fruits of that personally within my institution right now is we've ingrained ourselves and partnered up not just with universities, but we're even going lower. We're trying to partner up with high schools, middle schools, elementaries too. We want to start the, let's say, educational process really early, because I think it's quite important. Change is always difficult. No matter who you try to do it to, and people sort of say, yes, change is easy, but it's difficult. So I think teaching someone early on sort of these skills and just making it part of their everyday lifestyle really helps in sort of alleviating the issue.